A very good evening to all of you. You're watching Rajya Sabha News. My name is Aditi Nagpal Girotra. Let's take a look at the headlines first. After giving its consent to the Taxation Law Amendment Bill, Rajya Sabha returns to Lok Sabha. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says the bill that replaces ordinance used to slash corporate tax rate signifies the government's commitment to good reforms. Burning of rape victim in Unnao resonates in Rajya Sabha. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu says House must send out signal that in such incidents action should be taken promptly and swiftly and adequately so that such incidents are not repeated. Members condemn the incident. And chairman expresses concern over low attendance at parliamentary committee meetings, advises political parties to take measures to improve functioning of the panels, praises 18 members who took part in all the meetings of the committee. The Rajya Sabha has returned the Taxation Law Amendment Bill 2019 to Lok Sabha after discussion. Replying to the discussion on the bill in the House, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that slashing corporate tax remains an effective reform measure to attract more investments and that all Indian companies will benefit from this. The Finance Minister also said there is no shortage of liquidity in the market. After the Parliament's approval, the bill will replace an ordinance issued on September 20th this year regarding corporate tax cuts.
Quite a few members have asked as to why do we need ordinances? Why can't we do straight ahead with the bill? As I said, waiting for the next budget is by itself a delay which we didn't want, considering the environment which was prevailing all over the world. We wanted to attract investment at the earliest, so we did come ahead with the ordinance. The concessional rates provided in the ordinance and now in this bill, sir, are applicable only to domestic companies. We are not giving to foreign companies at all. Concessional rate of 15% is being offered to manufacturing companies. It's all companies, big, small, medium, micro, all of them get this rate. So long as you are a part of the Companies Act, the small ones, medium ones, all of them will benefit out of this. First of all, we established that there is no liquidity problem with the banks. Then we wanted that to be given further to the NBFCs and for the banks themselves to go to the hinterland and not just cities like Mumbai, Delhi or Calcutta. So we said 400 districts you would go, all the banks and the NBFCs would go and make sure that all kinds of loans are provided for people who approach them following every prudential norms. I hope I've responded to most members and their questions related to the corporate tax reduction and the timing. It was important that India remained competitive in the global scenario. We are making specific attempts to talk to corporate sector captains all over the world to make sure that they come and invest in India, thereby create a greater momentum and opportunities for greater job potential.
Taking part in the discussion, MPs raised questions about some differences in the ordinance promulgated by the President and the bill introduced by the Finance Minister. Several other issues related to the economy were also raised.
Whether the government has real concern for the economic development of this country as a whole, and whether the government has plans to support the farmers who constitute 20% of the GDP, about the laborers and other sections of the people who are really affected. That is my question.
The tax cut does not address the critical issue of falling demand. The economic slowdown calls for consumer optimism and a demand boost. This can be done only by putting purchasing power in the hands of people, general public. Given the difficult situation that the Indian economy is in, the fiscal discipline could be relaxed for the time being and personal taxes may be reduced.
We are told n number of times we don't have money to spend on education. We don't have money to expand the scholarship base. We don't have money to protect the idea of public funded education. We don't have money to make sure that the farmers don't live in perpetual fear and they commit suicide. We don't have money to build modern class public hospitals. We don't have money, but then we do have the political will.
Today, actually, no point in criticizing you or government or anybody. Why the employment is not coming? Because industry is not growing. Industry, why is not growing? There is no investment. And no foreign country is ready to invest in India because so much fluctuation is going on.
सरकार ने जो कदम लिए, SIT का गठन, बेनामी संपत्ति का एक्ट ला करके उसको रोका जाना, भगोड़ा कानून लाना, इंसॉल्वेंसी बैंक्रप्सी जैसे एक्ट लाना, ईज ऑफ डूइंग हो, लोगों के डिस्प्यूट का सॉल्यूशन हो, उनको उसका भी फायदा मिले। और आपने देखा इनरेगुलर जिस तरह की डिपॉजिट था उसका एक्ट ला करके इस तरह के जिस तरह के इलीगल ट्रांजैक्शन हो रहे थे उनको रोका गया।
अब ये खाली ऐसा नहीं है कि आप ही के सर पे ये बोझा है कि आप देश को अंधेरे से बाहर निकाल लेंगे। हर आदमी जो घर में रहता है, घर के प्रति जिम्मेदार है और अपनी जिम्मेदारी को महसूस करता है, और अब ये उसका दायित्व बन जाता है कि इस गड्ढे से, इस अंधेरे से हिंदुस्तान को, उसकी अर्थव्यवस्था को निकालने के लिए सब लोग मिलकर कमिटमेंट करें।
Most of our business are struggling because of complications and harassment which is being created by implementation of laws. There are mainly two reasons why there are suffering. The suffering because of the government is rigid to come out with the clear guidelines. The government will keep certain laws with the official can misuse.
Rajya Sabha has condemned the incident of the Unnao rape survivor being set on fire as she was on her way to appear in court. Members also called for stringent action against the culprits. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu said there is a need to send out a signal that such heinous crime against women will not be accepted and there should be swift actions against the perpetrators.
What is needed is not mere arrest in one case. As everybody said, we must send out a signal to the entire country, to the society, that in such incidents, the action should be taken promptly, swiftly, adequately, so that the things cannot be repeated once again. As the other day we discussed the issue at length, I am not allowing a general discussion, and we will close it here with a caution to all the concerned to act immediately, swiftly, and also appeal to the society to isolate such people and stand by the victims, and then stand by the administration whenever they take immediate action, and bring pressure on the people concerned that they cannot get away with such incidents and all.
Samajwadi Party MP Ram Gopal Yadav expressed anguish over the incident. He said it is the responsibility of the government to provide adequate security to rape victims. Other members of the House also expressed anguish. NCP's Vandana Chavan said there is a need to safeguard the women of the country, while BJP's Kanta Kardam condemned the issue.
इसमें दोषी जो भी ठहराए जाएं, जो रिस्पॉन्सिबल हों, उन सब के खिलाफ कार्रवाई तो हो ही, और ऐसी कार्रवाई डेटरेंट पनिशमेंट मिले लोगों को कि अन्य लोग, अधिकारी इतने अलर्ट रहें कि अन्य जगहों पर इस तरह की कोई घटना रिपीट न हो सके.
It's a chilling and really heartbreaking incident what has happened today. Day in and day out we are listening about girls being raped, women being raped all over the country. But today's incident has taken absolutely the ultimate, where a girl, a rape victim going to court has been burnt alive, sir. What can be worse than this? Our women have to be safeguarded.
Rajya Sabha Chairman Venkaiah Naidu has expressed deep anguish over low attendance of members in parliamentary standing committee meetings. He also urged leaders of all political parties to ensure quantitative and qualitative functioning of the parliamentary panels.
After holding a meeting with chairpersons of parliamentary panels, Chairman Naidu expressed concern over absenteeism of members in department-related parliamentary standing committees.
Honorable members, I have conveyed a meeting of the chairmen of the standing committee and also standing committee of this House and had discussions with them about the need to improve further functioning of these two important bodies. As the chairman of this August House, empowered with nominating honorable members of this House on various committees of Parliament, including the department-related standing committees, I would like to share my concern on the functioning of these committees. This morning, I have held a meeting with this chairman, 8 chairmen of the standing committee, and also the chairmen of the standing committees of this House. One standing committee is of both the houses, the other is of this House. All these committees have been reconstituted recently. With statistical evidence, I have highlighted low attendance of members of both the houses in the meetings of the 8 department-related standing committees that are with this House. Standing committees are no different in this regard. Department-related standing committees have been conceived as an effective instrument of enabling detailed scrutiny of legislative proposals, besides focused and detailed examination of various issues chosen by these committees for reporting in a bipartisan manner, which may not always be possible in both the House of Parliament. The 8 department-related standing committees of Rajya Sabha have been reconstituted in September this year and have held a total of 41 meetings since then. As you are aware, each committee has 10 members, including the chairman from this House, and 21 from Lok Sabha. An analysis of attendance in all these 41 meetings revealed a very disturbing trend, which I shared with the committee chairman today in the meeting.
The chairman also mentioned the names of 18 members who attended all the meetings of respective committees since their reconstitution in September this year.
These 8 committees, a total of 80 members of Rajya Sabha are represented. Out of these 80 members, 18 members have attended all the meetings of respective committees since September this year. 18 out of 80. 18 of the total 168 Lok Sabha members represented on these 8 committees have also attended all these meetings. 18 of 168. I expect the members of this House to be fully present in the meetings of the committees to raise each member of the department-related standing committee represents 25 members of the Parliament while deliberating in the committee. If one member is absent, the voice of 25 members would not be heard. I hence appeal to leaders of all political parties inside the House, outside also, to ensure quantitative and qualitative functioning of these committees in whom the Parliament has vested an important responsibility of functioning on its behalf.
The chairman also said that department-related standing committees have been conceived as an effective instrument of enabling detailed scrutiny of legislative proposals. They also enable focused and detailed examination of various issues chosen by these committees for reporting in a bipartisan manner, which may not always be possible in both houses of Parliament. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
And with this, it's a wrap on this edition of Rajya Sabha News. Thank you so much for your time.